Hello everyone, my name is Wojciech Krysiak and for this company called Software Brothers. Okay, but I'm going to tell you about the thing which is an AdminBro. This is an administrative automatic admin interface which can be plugged into a Node.JS application. Okay, and I have three goals of my presentation. The first goal is to show you how it works, So we will have a live coding session on which I will show you how to build an admin panel in 5, maybe 10 minutes, okay? The second thing is I would like to encourage you to use that. This is an open source free tool to build an admin panel, so I believe that the more people are using it, the more people are participating in this, the product will be better and the more people will use that. And the third thing is that I would like to share with you the two ideas about, because this is a huge project, we had lots of challenges along the way. So I would like to share two design choices, implementation phases, which we had. So maybe you will be able to reuse that in your projects. I divided this presentation to 4 parts, 3, and the questions. So first the background, then live coding, and design choices, as I mentioned. So let's start with an AdminBro. Briefly, an AdminBro is the admin panel, which looks like this, usually. As I mentioned, it can be plugged in to the Node.js application and you build such like that. Why we build that? Because there are a lot of open source things available on the web, which are without any use. I work for the IT companies for the 10 years, and we started using Ruby on Rails. This is the first technology, like 10 years ago. Do you know what the Ruby on Rails is? Because it's like old technology. Have someone used that? Yeah, use that. Okay, like 3, maybe 4 people in the room. But it was old, a long time ago. But what was awesome about Ruby on Rails, it was that Ruby on Rails was the major framework out there in Ruby language. And it has basically two admin panels. One was the Rails admin, and the second was the active admin. Those panels were basically libraries which can be plugged. With one line of code, you could just have the entire admin panel. Have you used some of them in your applications? Okay, so the 3 people who used Ruby didn't use that. Makes sense. Along the way, we migrated to different technologies, and we migrated to Django, for instance, Python, and also called Django. Django also has its admin, which is Django admin. We already use that. But like half a year ago, we decided to switch, because we are solid, but company which likes challenges, And we decided to switch to JavaScript. And there is no such thing as an admin panel, for frameworks out there. There are things like Keystone, for instance, which is basically a CMS. And there is an Express admin, but it connects straight to the database, without, reusing any business logic what you already have in your application. So we built the admin. And in the next couple of minutes, I will show you how to use that, okay? So let's open the Visual Studio Code. And don't look at this, okay? Right now, let's focus on the story, okay? So let's build a story, okay? Because this solves actual business problems, okay? So the story is, you have a client who lives in Dubai, for instance, and this client has a need. He has to build an application which is a library, okay? This is an MVP, so it has just 3 models: books, users, and orders. So basically, users can perform an orders to order a books, complicated. MVP in Dubai. And he would like to launch it. So you build the API in Happy.js framework. Have you used Happy.js? Okay, this is Node.js. No. Have you used Express.js? Okay, my example is in Happy.js, so I think I made a wrong decision. sorry for that. So happy.js is basically the same as Express, okay? And let's stay with that. Sorry for the simplicity. Okay, so we have the happy.js backend already written, okay? This is this backend. So we have happy framework on the top. We have connection to the Mongo database. We use Mongoose. Mongoose is a library which allows you to connect to the Mongo. Okay, so we are launching the server under the port 3000, and we are serving 3 routes. One is the iconic Hello World. The second is the fetching all the users books. You don't have to remember that because we won't use that, but this is like working application. And the last thing is that we launch the server. Okay, so let's see how it works right now. I will use no daemon. Okay, sorry. Can you see the? Maybe I will zoom it out. No. Okay, no daemon is a thing which launches the application and allows to reload the application whenever you make a change. So we launched it. Let's open the page. This is the first page, and it should work. Okay, it works. So this is the application which we built for our client, okay, from Dubai. And this client from Dubai has another need. He would like to build an admin panel for this application. So he has the users, he has the books, which we basically manually added to the database, and now he would like to manage this. Okay, so the standard approach to this would be the first approach. Go to Team Forest probably, buy some admin panel interface, then implement this interface in some kind of front-end framework, Angular, whatever, and then build the backend for that. So for me, it's like 2-3 weeks of work, with automated tests and so on. Another approach would be to use DJ Ango admin, for instance, launch it on another server, connect with the database, but we have the problem we cannot reuse the business logic which we, complicated business logic which we did. Or the third solution right now is we can use the AdminBro, okay? So in which what I will do. But before I will do this, I will just explain that we will do this in 2 steps. The first step is that because AdminBro doesn't live as an external product, external process, it lives inside your application. It reuses the roots you have in the app, So we have to first add it to happy.js, which is the same as express.js. Let's do this, okay? Okay, so let's go to the happy.js page. Okay, it's loading. That's why you like Express more, because happy.js is loading. Okay, there's a plugin section, and when you find the admin, there is an AdminBro plugin. Perfect, I go there. Then I swipe to the documentation. Okay, and this is documentation of how to add this. Okay, so first of all, we have to require that. Oh, perfect. It's not complicated when you copy paste the code. So I require that. Then I have to perform this particular setup. So in Express, you could, to comparison to Express framework, you use middlewares. So here you have plugins. This is the difference. So let's copy here and paste it there. Copy here, paste it there, and pay me. Okay, this is how the software is built right now. So we have server.register, which add the plugin. We pass this plugin to the configuration, and we pass some options. Okay, let's remove that for now and just use the default options. I saved it. Let's see. Okay, we don't have any errors in the terminal. That's good. So let's refresh the page. Nothing happened. Of course, nothing happened because we have to add the admin URL. Okay, because this is the default path. Okay, and we have the admin panel right here. Okay, so this is the entire interface. Is everything clear? Perfect. Okay, so we have amazing admin panel built on React, JS on the front end, and happy.js in the backend right now, but we can use Express, for instance. But it has this one button, check out the documentation, so which is not useful for our client from Dubai. So let's add something to this panel, okay? As I mentioned, you have to add this panel to the framework. This is the first step. The second step, you have to fetch the data from your database. We'll use Mongo as an example, okay? So the second step will be to add, we call that adapters, okay? So we'll add a Mongoose Adapter. Which is called AdminBro Mongoose. Makes sense. And we have to register this adapter. In order to do that, I have to add an AdminBro. This is the boring part. Okay. Fingers crossed that it will work. Okay, we are registering this adapter. Why we do this? Because we have to teach AdminBro to see the resources within this particular database. Okay, otherwise, it won't be able to recognize them. Okay, so let's add options right here. As I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned that, but you could add multiple data sources, so you could add basically different databases. So imagine a portal in which you have three databases. I have only two hands. And yeah, sorry. And you could pass an array here, all those three databases, okay? So we are, in case of Mongoose, we are passing whatever Mongoose is returning. So, and this is a connections object. Okay, and let's pass it to as an array. Okay, no errors. Let's refresh that, and boom, it works. So as I mentioned, we have three models. One was the book, the user, and the order. Okay. Let me show the definition for the models. Okay, right now, before I will jump into the panel. So I have one file, models, with the models definition in Mongoose. So we have book. Book has a title, description, and author. Perfect. User with email and name. And we have order with order ID, which is a string, user, which is a reference to the user object. This is how you define the references. You have a book, which is reference to the book. No surprises. And we have a quantity because I added that number quantity. Perfect. So let's see how those models looks in the admin panel. When you open a book, okay, I added some books. Nice. All those things are here. Users, also. This is me, my email. And orders. Let's create another order, because this is the most interesting part. So when you add the order, you could just use another string, whatever string you like, because we don't have any restrictions here. But here you can have the reference to the already created objects, So I have the reference to my email, and I have the reference to the trial from Kafka. And the quantity 50. And I can create those items. When I go back, when my client from Dubai goes back to his panel, he can filter all those elements within this admin, sort, see, and so on. So this is quite cool, but in the end, in the long term, it doesn't have, lots of use, because in the end, in your applications, you would like to change something. You would like to add new business logic. I don't know, change the fields and so on. And admin panel allows you to do that. Okay? So, are you following me? Perfect. So, the last thing in the live coding section will be to add some options. Okay? I don't want to do this live. I'm a smart guy. I prepared different steps. Let's skip all of them, okay, and just use the last one. Okay. I'm I'm copying the options object, okay? And I will paste it here. Sorry, here exactly. Okay. Okay. I don't save it for now. So we have this database array, as we had before. We changed the branding options. Okay, so when we launch it, because this is a beta version, so it's not super stable. It's in 0.9, and it will be super stable like next month, because we are launching this for 2 clients in production, and we are now improving things in production, speed and so on. And but when we launched it to the open source, the first thing was how to change the colors. This was the first thing, what people ask. So we added this feature. You could change the colors, names, and so on. Then you can modify all resources. This is the most amazing thing. This is the most amazing thing, but this is quite critical as well. So we could pass the model itself, not the entire database, but the model. And then, along with the model, pass an option to this particular model. So we are changing the book. OK, we are changing what we are doing. First, we are saying that ID field shouldn't be visible in the list. We don't care about that. Then we define that description field for the book should be rich text. Not the raw string, but the rich text. And we are now adding new amazing property, which is combined name. And since this is a React thing, we are passing the component which should override how the particular field will be rendered on the list. Okay, I will tell you about this. I'll tell you more about this in a minute. Okay, so let's see how it looks right now. So we have ID. We don't have any field which is combined name, and description. When you go to the and this is it. Let's save it. Let's see if it works. It works. Okay, and we have this amazing new look. My monitor is everything is pink, and you don't have. Sorry, you shouldn't have this order. Okay, because we have the order and we changed the book. So my mistake. Okay, so so in book we don't have an ID. We have combined name, and when we go to the edit, we will see the description, which is a rich text editor. So it's pretty cool. And let's go back to the code. As you see, there is an AdminBro.require. So you probably noticed that we didn't use any Babel, we didn't use any bundler, but it works. So what we support the developers is that we support all those setup. Even if we use Happy.js, Express.js, whatever framework without the setup for server-side rendering and React, we handle that by using this. So this AdminBro.require behaves as regular require, but it requires a component, JSX component. And this particular JSX component looks like this. And for some of you who don't know what JSX components are, this is the way how to define components in React world. So basically, you say that there should be a component called name, which takes the props. Those props are passed by default to all components in the list. In edit, there is an onChange function. So you could just add an modify edit component for a particular property or add new. So this is pretty cool. So what we do, we just add a title, by, and author. Trial by Kafka, for instance. And this is what it does. Give me a second. Let's find trial from Kafka. The trial by Kafka, sorry. And basically, this is pretty it. There's a huge documentation about what to change, how to add things, because you could just add new functions, entire dashboard, as you saw on the first screen. So the possibilities are huge. And again, I would like you to use that. Do you have any questions regarding this part? ask them in the end. Because I have two more. Because I have two more things I would like to tell you. Okay, just two more things. The box is waiting, and we are still live coding. Okay, so this is the summary. What we did. We did all those things. So we added the. We didn't use the Express router. Sorry, we used the Happy.js, but Express is available as well. We added the database integration. Okay, Okay. The last part of my talk, super short part, is the challenges. Okay, I would like to tell you about two things what we did in the AdminBro infrastructure. Okay, maybe you will be able to reuse that. Okay, the first thing is the project setup. Since AdminBro consists of different modules, so we have the Mongoose Adapter, SQLite Adapter, for instance, Happy.js plugin, Express plugin. You have those things, and those things are in separate repositories because we think that in the future different people will build different adapters, and we don't have to have them. This is the general idea. So this was the first challenge. The second challenge is where to store the documentation, because we have one documentation for entire project, and how to link all together. So if you are developing application consisting of different modules, you have to link them by using npm-link or yarn link, for instance. And we had to have a way to easy, do this. What we did, we built an AdminBro dev repository, which consists of three things. One, we use Git submodules. This is an awesome tool, and this is basically a link between repositories. So we say that in this is the link to the AdminBro. This is a link to the AdminBro example app, because we have the example app in the repository as well, to the Express, to the Happy.js, and to bunch of other things. Then we have the documentation. So we generate the documentation based on the code. And imagine if you store the documentation in the original repository, all changes in the documentation requires the approval from other members of the team. And this is not easy to do. So you have to store it somewhere else. So this is the place where we store this. And we use the GitHub pages to host it. The last thing is infrastructure. This is amazing thing. So inside there is a Docker and Docker Compose setup. Basically, Docker and Docker Compose is used to launch the application. So here in the test application, we have SQL, so we have a Postgres, we have the Mongoose. And the idea is, if you would like to work on that, download the repository. Those things will be fetched as well. Go there and run Docker Compose app. And you are ready to go to add new features. Let's do this today. OK, so this is the first challenge. And why this is so important from my perspective is that you could use this in your project. I believe that in your project you have the backend in Express. I know the backend is in Express. And the frontend in Angular, for instance. So you could just add backend here, frontend here, and newcomers to the project could download one repository, launch one command, and they're ready to go. Add new features. OK, clear? Perfect. The second thing is the documentation. OK, this is huge. So when you start working on open source software, the crucial thing is documentation, because this is the connection with developers. And there's a thing called curse of knowledge. You know about curse of knowledge? No, OK, so two people maybe here knows. So basically, when you do something, the curse of knowledge is that when you do something, it's very, very hard to explain it, because you are the people who actually done it. So it's hard to explain it. And the documentation is the way to explain it, so it has to be solid. And we decided, those were changes. So we had to describe how to use that in steps, describe the entire interface. So we allowed to, for instance, use the components. So we have to describe that. And we had to describe this, and describe the actual interfaces of all the classes. And we had to have one tool to do this. And we used JSDoc. You know what the JSDoc is? Yeah. Basically, this is a markup language which can be added, again, which can be added above the function. So using the tags, you could describe the function and generate the documentation based on that automatically. And this is how it looks. Not so beautiful, user-friendly, but this is the default theme. But what JSDoc has, it has the ability to add new plugins, themes, whatever, you know, it's quite easy. So what we did, we built something called Better Docs. I will paste a link, sorry. I will show you a link, and basically the presentation will be online there, which is an open source theme to the AdminBro, to the JSDoc, which looks like this. It's more user-friendly, and we also added two things, you know. One, we added a category plugin. So since the project is huge, you have to group those similar things together, you know, in the sidebar. So we added that. And the second thing is the spoiler alert, because it's not published yet. It's just in my local machine. Component plugin. I'll show you how it looks. This is awesome, and we'll publish this like next month. And we also use something called Mermaid Graphs. This is not our tool. This is this guy. I will show you how it looks, okay? Because those things could improve the documentation a lot, okay? So let's go to the documentation. This is the link. It doesn't work because I have to. Okay, it should work. Okay, so this is documentation. And three things I will show you. The first is the category component. So category plugin, what it does is it basically adds this. So different sections in the sidebar, which is not original in JavaScript. So this is quite okay. But the second thing is better, you know. So we have here a unique component section, which is not present in all JavaScript projects. And when you go to the component, for instance, because those are the components which you can reuse for building the interface using the AdminBro. Let's go to the value block. So we build the plugin, which is here, which takes the when you build the React, this is a side story. When you build the React component, if you don't know this, React suggests to use something called prop types. This is the definition for the input for particular component. And this is in the code, you know? So what we did is that we built a plugin which uses this prop type definition and which prints it here. So you don't have to do a thing. If you follow the guides from React and you are using JavaScript, it should be there, you know, automatically. So like that. But there is one more thing, okay? We couldn't resist ourselves, and we did something more. We allowed people to, you know, see how the components looks like in JSDoc. So if you are building the application in React and you would like to document it, you can use that. And this is the you don't see borders, but this is they have borders. You see these particular components for this particular example you define in JSDoc. What's even best, we didn't stop on that, is that you can change that on live. So before using that component, you can verify how it looks, if it suits your needs or how it behaves when your users will feel more things as was expected. Okay, so, and this will be published like next month. Coming back to the presentation. And this is it, okay? So those were the challenges. First challenge was the project, how to set up project with Git submodules. The second was the how to configure JSDoc to use it in such project. I would like to encourage you to use JSDoc because it's an amazing tool. Thank you very much.